Hey, good evening, Dr. Stoll. This is Nicholas Hunt coming at you for the final project this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over one of my days, and I'm going to split up into two separate videos. I'm going to go over my warm-up and then my core stuff out here, and then I'm going to move over to the gym in my house, and then we'll do some weights after that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you day one of week 3 of the hypertrophy phase. So the athlete that I chose to work with for the project is I'm going to have a 20-year-old collegiate American football player who is in his second year playing, but he's technically a redshirt, so he's got about 3 more years to play. And he's a wide receiver. They're pretty stacked at wide receiver right now. He does get some playing time, but not as much as he would like. The coaches do want to get him some more playing time, so they have asked him this offseason to gain some good weight, so gain some lean muscle, so that maybe he can move to tight end where they're not as deep and potentially get some more playing time that way. So that's going to be really the most important aspect of this program. So obviously phase 1 and 2 has already been completed at this point. As you said before, those are mandatory, and then also phase 5 is going to be out of this. But we've already progressed from phase 1 to phase 2. This is going to be week 3, day 1. So what you'll notice on my programs is day 1, week 1, going to be some of the foam rolling and some of the core stuff's going to be a little different, but really the workouts themselves, I broke it up into chest, shoulders, back on one day, legs on day 2, and then back and biceps on the 3rd day, just what Nazem recommends in the book there if you're doing somebody 3 days a week. So, but what you will notice is my resistance training exercises are pretty much going to be the same on those weeks. So weeks 1 and 3 are going to be the same, and then 2 and 4 are going to be the same. So all I did though is, since it's the 3rd week, is first week with the exercises, we're going to go lighter, and then we're going to go, by this 3rd week, we're going to be up to 80% for their lifts. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So what I just want to start with is, obviously Nazem recommend doing foam rolling pretty much before basically any and all phases, and there's definitely nothing wrong with that at all. So since we're doing upper body, I definitely want to have my athlete do some upper body foam rolling stuff. So I'm going to have them just start with the thoracic spine. So what you're going to have your athlete do, just lay down on the foam roller, arms can be back, and you're just going to have them lift the hips up, and you're really just going to go in just about shoulder blades or just below that, and then back and forth. Make sure you're not getting too close to the lumbar spine or anything like that, okay? And you're not getting too high, so not too high or too low on the back. So we're just kind of keeping it in there. Sometimes I'll have my athletes just around the point their elbows up around the shoulders, get some of those deeper muscles in there if they're a little tight. So just have them do that for about 30 seconds. Any tender spots they can sit on for longer if they need to. I typically just have them breathe out through that uncomfortable spot through. Then we're going to have them also foam roll the lats. Again, it's a little bit more limited with what you can do with upper body for the foam rolling. So what you're going to have to do, if you want to do a little less pressure, going to have them have the foot staggered versus on top. That's going to be more body weight. And then you're just going to have them slowly just roll up and down the lats. So the lats are going to go pretty deep, or pretty far down. So any tender spots in there. So I got a tender spot about right there. And have them sit on that. Again, 20-30 seconds. But really just try to make sure you get the entire latissimus dorsi as a whole in that 30 seconds. Of course, have them repeat the other side as well. I won't do that now, but I'll always have them do the same side. Okay? And then, because it's foam rolling and it's awesome, you really can't overdo it. So I'd also throw in some lower body stuff, just because there is going to be a lower body exercise in part of our reactive part. So just, it's always good to get that loosened up. So what I'm going to have start with there is going to be IT band and then calves. So the IT bands, what we're going to try to do is get that roller right about the hip, and then all you're going to have them do, so for a little less pressure, again, have this foot out, then just let them roll up and down. Okay, if you want to add pressure, not super tender, that foot can just go on top. That's going to be a little bit more body weight, so there's going to be more weight on the pushing into the ball, so that might hurt a little bit more. Any tender spots, again, 20-30 seconds. Have them breathe through that. Again, they would flip over, do the same thing on the other side. Make sure you're going about hip to just about for the top of the knee, right there. Really get that whole area. Normally very tender with most people. And then the last one would just be some calves. Calves are pretty tight normally, so it's never a bad idea to do these. So you can start with 2 feet on. Just roll. Try to just get the entire belly of the calf. That gastroc in there. Ready to turn the leg a little bit, get some soleus in there. Never bad for that. If you want to add a little bit of pressure, just put the 1 foot on top, and then same idea. Adjust the foot or adjust the calf as you need to with that. Okay? Again, any tender spots, have them stay on there for 10 to 30 seconds as needed, okay? So that's just some of the foam rolling. And then for this phase of training, Nazem recommends doing some active isolated stretching and then some static stuff at the very end. So for the active isolated, I'm just going to do a calf stretch. So what I'm going to try to do here is what you're going to pretend this is a wall here, and for the active isolated stretch, whatever foot you're going to try to focus on, that foot's going to be back a little bit. They're going to internally rotate that one, okay? Then they're going to try to engage calf, glute, and abs. You're going to lean forward about arm's length away on the wall. The foot's going to come up, and then you're going to have them rotate in, rotate out, rotate in, rotate out, rotate in. Have them switch. Same idea. Rotate in, rotate out. Okay, so now you're moving your calves within a full range of motion, getting everything loose enough for that. Then the last active stretch I'd have them do, since again it's upper body, just going to be the ball lat. So all that's going to look like is have somebody kind of on all fours basically. And all you're going to have them do is stretch, hold it 2 to 4 seconds, roll the ball in. 2 to 4 seconds, roll the ball thing. Same thing there. I don't think I mentioned it with the calf stretch. Have them hold each position, like when they internally and externally rotate. Have them hold the position 2 to 4 seconds. Nice full range of motion. So one side, and of course switch. Same thing on this side. So really get that nice stretch. Hold it at the position 2 to 4 seconds. Okay, so that was our warm up, and then I would have them either do treadmill or elliptical for 5 minutes. We're not doing a ton of cardio with this phase because the goal is to gain lean muscle, so we're going to do some of that in other stages, so it's not a huge priority. Then what I'm going to do is the core, balance, and reactive. I'll throw a couple core things in. So you can do this on a dual pulley or cable or whatever. I'm just going to do it with a resistance band, but these are just going to be the cable chop. Okay, so that's going to be here. Now notice how I'm coming in with that knee, that foot, coming down. Getting as much range of motion as I can. Repeat the other side. I'm going to do about 10 reps for that. Then we're going to move the pulley down. Now we're going to do a cable lift. So same idea. Now we're coming low to high. So we're going to be here and here. So notice how that foot and the hip turn in, straighten out. Same thing, other side. We're going to do about 10 reps of those each side. No rest in between until we get packed to this one. Then the rest for 60 and then just repeat. This is going to be all vertical loading for most of the program stuff. And then the next one's just going to be a little bit of balance. So, with body weight, you don't need to load them with a bunch of weight. It's not the priority. That's not the goal for this phase. You're going to do a lunge to balance. Okay, from the side, like this. Lunge to balance. Lunge to balance. Okay, So that would be warm up, foam rolling, active stretching, and then the core and balance stuff. I'm going to stop the video, then we'll go do some of the lifting.